Oh yeah, it's Huggie Pacino back with another video. One thing I can understand about Memphis is that it's not necessarily the city, it's the people that's in it. This individual was a very important figure in the city. And you may wonder, what is this story about? Like, what's the real motive behind all of this? How did it even come to this? So, without further ado, I want to play the video so you can get that. And then toward the end of that video, after the video, for those who do know another attachment to this individual, I'm going to remind you if you don't remember.
Shooting this morning in South Memphis kills a beloved pastor from Frazier. Police say Ricky Floyd died just after 1 a.m. outside Mama's Bar and Kitchen on Kentucky, right at Crump Boulevard. They say Floyd and a woman were seen arguing before she shot him. Tonight, 42-year-old Samantha Marion is charged with voluntary manslaughter. Now, we do not know yet exactly why the trigger was pulled. But what we do know is that Floyd was a passionate advocate for his Frazier community as pastor of Pursuit of God Church. Floyd also started programs and businesses meant to improve the lives of others, especially young people who needed guidance, in his words, to stay on the right path. Fox 13 continues our team coverage here at 6. First, from Pastor Floyd's home church, and he also from some of the businesses that he helped build. Both now part of his legacy to improve his community.
You know, he's been a father figure to me, like I said, over 25 years. And so I don't know. It's just, it's not words that we really can say. It's just that we got to do it. We got to keep fighting for the legacy of this man who did so much great in our city and for so many people to help us get where we are.
Words from Commissioner Charlie Caswell there. Now, legacy is one of the words that kept coming up today as we talked to people about Floyd. His positive impact made the pain of his loss all the more difficult to handle for members of his Pursuit of God Church in Frazier. Fox 13 investigative reporter Kayla Solomon is there live right now. Kayla, tonight there was supposed to be their midweek service.
Yeah, Daryl, but I was told earlier today that midweek service has been canceled, and now this complete closure of this campus is happening, at least for the rest of tonight. Now, we know that this is the location that Pursuit of God Church has been in for the last 5 years, but I spoke to some church members who say they knew Pastor Ricky Floyd much further back than that.
My heart very heavy. I'm sure everybody's seen it, their heart feel the same way.
Heavy hearts, but still full of prayer.
We understand that our heart is heavy.
As people showed up Wednesday to Pursuit of God Church to pay respects to Pastor Ricky Floyd.
He was my pastor for about 10 years. He had a good impact on the community due to the violence and bringing the teenagers together.
He's a great person in the neighborhood. He helped so many people out here.
Fed a lot of people.
He fed people. He did a lot.
Among the mourners was church member, friend, and Shelby County Commissioner Charlie Caswell.
He could have moved his church anywhere. He stayed planted here in what is one of the #1 violent zip codes in our community to fight for our children and families so we can change the narratives and outcomes that we see happening in our community. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be the man that I am. Because I was that young boy. One of them, he saved 20-some years ago. That was headed down the wrong road, but Floyd saw something in me that he saw in so many of these young men.
Caswell said his emotions stem from the void he and other Frazier leaders will now have to fill.
This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard. And for us as a community, again, the legacy of who he was. And the things that's happening in this community has been because of what this man fought for.
Now, of course, the campus here at Pursuit of God Church is not only home to the church services, but there are a number of nonprofits that work out of here, including the Husband Institute, which Pastor Floyd started, as well as Agape Children and Family Services. Daryl?
That is investigative reporter Kayla Solomon live in Frazier.
Now, I want to remind you all, for those who do know, another story that had a lot to do with this man. And I'm going to reveal some things I never told anyone, not even Ricky. Check this out. All right. Picture looks familiar, doesn't it? Well, for those who don't know and who are familiar with this individual, Ricky Anderson, aka Ricky Farid, that's the man that helped him when he turned himself in and when he got out of jail. His name was also Ricky. Let's go back. A Frazier pastor came face to face with a man who carjacked him nearly 2 years ago. Pastor Ricky Floyd of Pursuit of God Church says he's been anxiously waiting for an arrest, but this wasn't how he imagined it would play out. It's a chapter that closed and an open chapter at the same time, said Floyd. It was September 2016 when Pastor put air in his tire at a South Memphis gas station. He watched a stranger hop into his driver's seat, hit the gas, and drag him across the parking lot. As I explained to him, I'm still affected by that, Floyd said. Floyd was left with anger and unrest until Monday. That's when Eddie Patterson, a deacon at another church, got a call from his brother-in-law, Ricky Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, let me reveal something. Shout out to Eddie Patterson, deacon at another church. A lot of voices got together and helped Ricky get out of jail as well. I was one of those voices. And I didn't really believe that, it would work, but it worked. But Pastor Floyd was that good of a guy. He helped this man come home. Helped him get a job and everything. This was nothing new about Pastor Floyd. Most people that are from the city, everyone knows Pastor Floyd. Anyway, let's continue. Anderson said he was ready to turn himself in. He called me and said he wanted to speak to the pastor and asked me if I know how to get in touch with him, said Patterson. 3 days later, they all met at Floyd's church as Anderson tried to explain why he did it. At that moment, I was willing to go to any limit to get out of the city, said Anderson, because most people that knew back then, Ricky left Memphis and moved to North Carolina. He eventually left that girl's house, Trisha, and she moved to Kentucky. He was squatting out of a trailer home. See, I knew Ricky was on the run when I asked certain people that knew him. I'm like, he the one that carjacked the preacher. I said, to my Floyd? He's like, yeah. He was like, I knew all of this. And I kept my mouth closed. I didn't say anything. And I remember just randomly one day, Ricky was live. And he was talking about he was tired of running. He just wanted to just say fuck it. He came home and he turned himself in. I remember jumping in his chat room the night before he came back home. And I said, I feel you. I hope you do what you need to do. Came home, he turned himself in. Exactly what the story came about. It's not so much about liberating him. It's about liberating myself by not holding on to anger, bitterness, and frustration, said Floyd. Eventually, police pulled up and the pastor and the suspect hugged one more time. I feel like we can shut the door on the pain and past, like live in the prophecy of the vision of the future. Anderson was booked at 201 Poplar on list of charges. Floyd says he's already contacted the DA's office to try to get those charges dropped. In exchange, Anderson going to some type of rehabilitation program. We'll let you know what happens, because he knew Ricky had a drug problem, which he still does, which is why Ricky ended up in the result of going back into stealing a car, stealing things to make money just so he can get high, which in turn led to violation. And that's why Ricky ended up going back to jail in the first place. Now y'all know why I said what I said to him. You let Pastor Floyd down. And now you know. I had the original video. And this is a PS, by the way. I had the original video because Ricky don't have it on his channel, but I had the raw file in a hard drive and lost that file. But here's the actual original live feed that I did from the morning that he turned himself in, because there's a Ricky Farid to the right, aka Ricky Anderson. That's the one that carjacked Pastor Floyd to your left.
latest names for the record. So, why did you change?
So, like I said, this is the raw file that I had that day. The audio is kind of, hard to understand what they're saying, but this is the moment I wanted y'all to see right here. And that's it. Tell me what y'all think.
Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.